responsibly.
That's one cynical beer commercial. How about who you're not hiring to brew your beer anymore? The guy from Pittsburgh, Marky Billson, Tri-Cities Sports Now. Hey, used to brew Sam Adams, the brewery in Lawrenceville in the city of Pittsburgh, Now you don't. Now that brewery's shut down, and everyone who wanted to keep their job who used to work for them now has to drive 40 miles to Latrobe to brew Iron City. So, spare me, okay? You want to know. Anyhow, who else would know that? And I know that isn't big, in East Tennessee, but I just, heard the ad for Sam Adams, and I'm going to make my, comment there and all that. So, I don't pull punches, you know that. That's why you're listening. More on Southern Conference Media Days, and of course, SoCon John Hooper, who normally joins us now, will join us tomorrow at 1:30 to talk about. He's covering Media Days right now. If you just missed it, Wofford is the pick to win the Southern Conference, followed by Furman and then ETSU in both of the coaches' polls and the media polls. And the preseason player of the year in the Southern Conference on offense, Tyree Adams, quarterback of Western Carolina. Surprisingly, Nick Tiano did not make either the first or the second team. Interesting, and a lot of people think he could be drafted. Former Mississippi State player, Tiano, down there in Chattanooga. And then, let's see here, you've got, as your best defensive player, Nasir Player, defensive lineman from ETSU. He's the preseason pick for Defensive Player of the Year in the Southern Conference. But that's not the only information coming out of the Southern Conference Media Days. The Southern Conference, Nexstar, and Ingalls have partnered for a regional football broadcast package. Remember, the biggest thing that the new commissioner, Jim Schaus, who's going to talk to the media at 2:45, what he is going to have to do is get a better TV deal. Now, here we go. This is the deal. Nexstar Broadcasting, Inc., the sponsors I told you, and Southern Conference announced Monday they'll partner to broadcast 13 Southern Conference football games this year throughout the league's 6-state footprint with a network of Nexstar stations. Okay, the Ingalls SoCon Game of the Week broadcast package will feature one game each Saturday, August 31st, November 23rd. Every school will appear at least twice during the season. All the games in the package will also air concurrently on ESPN3 or ESPN Plus, which, at ESPN Plus, nobody really seems to like it here. So Schaus says, thanks to everyone. Nexstar affiliates that include, here it's going to be WJHL. Okay, you'll watch it on WJHL. If you're listening in in North Carolina, you'll get it on WYCW. Okay? If by any chance you are listening online from Charleston, South Carolina, it'll be on WCBD. And if by any chance you are listening, you're a VMI fan or something listening in online on jetbroadcasting.live, or you're watching me on Facebook or whatever, in Lynchburg, that market, WWCW. Pete Hammoney, who is the sports director of Channel 7, WSPA, down in the Greenville area, he'll be the play-by-play broadcaster, and former Wofford offensive lineman Jared Singleton will be the analyst. All right. So that's what you need to know there. ETSU will be appearing on September the 28th when they travel to Furman at 1 p.m. And ETSU will also be appearing on November 2nd when they host the Citadel at 3:30, and on November 9th when they travel to Western Carolina to play the Catamounts at 3:30. Interesting. Also, of note, here, local Mars Hill. That's the game at VMI at 1:30 on September the 7th. So you'll be able to see Mars Hill on WJHL at 1:30 on September 7th. I'm intrigued by that because so your WJHL, that would be, the old Channel 11 if you still use rabbit ears, which I don't think anybody does. But I'm trying to think of the packages that they have, how that will work, because I'm thinking JHL That's the CBS affiliate. And then at 3:30, you start thinking, well, that's when the SEC game kicks off. So what do you do there? Or do they pawn it out to what's on the former WKPT? How do they do that? Because I can't imagine that they'll be starting or they'll be airing VMI at the Citadel on October the 5th at 2 p.m. and have that cut into the SEC game on CBS, even though it says in this press release WJHL. I think that they'll put it on one of the ancillary channels WJHL has. Anyway, but I am kind of intrigued that VMI at the Citadel, and I do understand why that's the game that they would broadcast on October the 5th. You know, it's a great rivalry. I mean, come on. No, I understand that totally. However, I would have thought that you would have broadcast instead ETSU hosting Wofford, because that might be for the whole enchilada in the Southern Conference. So, see how that goes. I mean, the season finale is Chattanooga at VMI. That doesn't, I mean, I don't know. Chattanooga might be in a mix. I'm the VMI fan. I picked them 7th. I don't think they're going to be in a mix, okay? That's not, so that's the most overrated team year in and year out in the Southeastern Conference. I was talking to somebody today, first team all-SEC offense. It's Tua, running back Najir Harris, wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, Henry Riggs III, another wide receiver, offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood, you gotta love that name. Jedrick Wills Jr. is another Crimson Tide lineman selected first team SEC offense from the SEC Media Days. Defense more of the same. Guys like Raekwon Davis on the defensive line, Anfernee Jennings, linebacker from Alabama, and Trevon Diggs in the defensive backfield also make, so 9 players of a possible 22, making it, out of 14 teams, first team Alabama all SEC preseason. Impressive. Who would be the second team quarterback? Not really that much of a surprise, Jake Fromm. Okay. I was surprised that Vanderbilt placed so many players on the second team offense. Running back Keyshawn Vaughn, wide receiver Kalijah Lipscomb, and tight end Jared Pinkney. We just thought that Kyle Shermer was gone. They were going to stink, right? 3 players on offense, Vanderbilt Commodores. Maybe that game in Knoxville end of the year isn't all right, this is the year for Tennessee. And why would you pick this to be the year for the Tennessee Volunteers to beat Vanderbilt? Well, they used to. Name recognition. See, that's being overrated. Okay. By the way, I should point this out that Tennessee did put 1 player on the second team. It's Marquez Callaway. He's a returner. So they get kick returns. Okay, so Tennessee, they think they'll have good field position, but be not able to do anything with it, evidently. So that's the deal there. Third team, SEC. Now, this I was a little surprised about. Quarterback is Joe Burrow. I might have taken Jake Bentley from South Carolina as my third team. I'm not ready to go to war on that now, mind you. Okay, it's not like outrageous. Or what about Bryant at Missouri? He's the only guy here. I mean, he took a team to the FCS playoffs, or excuse me, the FBS playoffs. FBS playoffs. So anyway, I said 9. Am I not? Because my printer is sort of now cutting out. And now I see this as that I maybe 12 players selected. Let me see here. 12 players. Tua was tabbed as the top quarterback in the league. That's not a surprise. A record 12 players from the defending SEC champs were named to the first team, which marks an all-time high for a single team. Remember, there are 12 spots. So I'm trying to see. The problem is here, and I see this, that my printer cut off, and it is basically the defensive line of Alabama will be stacked, because that's where they got the other players in the box there at Alabama. So, is that it, or are they going with specialists, maybe? Maybe that's it, it was specialists, because first team, return specialist, Jalen Waddle, well, that'd be 10, and all-purpose Jalen, well, see, it's the same per layer, Jalen Waddle. Okay. But yeah, Jalen Waddle will he's expected to be a better kick returner than Marcus Callaway. So he'll average on 25 yards a kickoff return instead of 24 or something. And it's not a whole lot to go by, in all this. First team running backs, in case you are interested, would include, that didn't play for Alabama, DeAndre Swift of Georgia, and Andrew Thomas will be blocking up front for him. Kind of interesting there. I mentioned the offensive line all year long that Missouri is going to have, but they really only place one player on the SEC preseason team. And again, I wonder about that. It is Trevor Wallace-Sims, offensive lineman from Missouri. I'm a little bit surprised about that, and he's only second team. So the Tigers did put their tight end, who is Albert Okweg, oh my goodness here, Okwebegunum, something like that. The Missouri tight end is supposed to be the best in the SEC this year. Okay, the Missouri tight end. We're going to call him that right now. Finish out the show, I want to say John Adams is a very interesting piece in today's Knoxville News Sentinel. Hey, look at this. Somebody doing opinion writing. Imagine that, Tri-Cities. Anyway, he says, and here's the thing. He says, will Jeremy Pruitt do better than Butch Jones as Tennessee football coach? The media opinion hasn't changed much. And this is sort of the first, speak of myself, but this may be the starting of Jeremy Pruitt better win now. And by that, 8-4 and he'll be fine. 7-5. And he'll be pretty good. 6-6, he'll survive another losing season, then he's Coach Dull. And he's the guy who didn't know asparagus until he was 32. He polled, did Adams, 29 media members at SEC Media Days. 15 predicted Pruitt would surpass Jones' 34 victories at Tennessee. Last year's poll was 16-13 in favor of Pruitt. That's not that, And the thing is here, look, not the most articulate guy in the world, but also, where are the players on the preseason All-SEC team? Yeah, Marcus Callaway, that's it. Again, I mentioned I had 3 players on Vanderbilt's offense, selected second team All-SEC. Maybe we're presuming Neyland Stadium victory for the Vols over the Commodores a little too soon. Of course, game's how many months? After Thanksgiving, so it's far, far off. But, you get that idea that, okay, yeah, let's pick the Vols because they're the Vols. But as I say, are the Vols anymore? They're not 1998, no. And there you go. Even a statement like that, are the Vols anymore? Suggesting that the Tennessee Volunteers, that's a really winning team. Well, last 12 years, it's been a rather mediocre team without any first-place finishes. So, and that's quite the body of work to go by and all that. So there you go. We'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow. Tri-City Sports Now. Colin Coward is next.